All right, so jumping into this transcript about single mothers, right?
Yeah.
What really struck me initially is how it's framed as a podcast transcript. Almost like we're listening on a casual conversation, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting choice. Though the more I read, it's the repetition that's really catching my attention. Like the author St. Vincent. It's almost strategically placed throughout the text, wouldn't you say?
It's true. It's like he's trying to make St. Vincent synonymous with this whole reframing the narrative idea.
Yeah.
And he really dives into some complex issues, societal, stigma, unrealistic expectations, the whole works. But then he kind of does this interesting thing where he addresses both single mothers themselves and the people who might date them. It's like two separate conversations woven together.
And that's where it gets really fascinating, right? You've got this message of empowerment for single mothers. You are strong, capable, worthy of love. But then it's almost like he gives this instruction manual to potential partners as if saying, here's how you should perceive these incredible women.
Exactly. And he doesn't shy away from potentially sensitive topics, like the whole conversation around baggage and how it's unfairly attached to single mothers. He tackles that head on.
Well, and that's what's so interesting about that specific metaphor, isn't it? I mean, using baggage in this context reveals so much about underlying societal biases. It's almost like it's implying that these women are somehow burdened, incomplete even, which of course the source is pushing back against.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to dissect that bias and say, wait, why are we even using this term? This baggage label carries so much negative weight.
And he doesn't stop there. Throughout the transcript, there's this constant emphasis on self-improvement for single mothers. It's like he's arguing that, yes, societal change is crucial, but while we're waiting on that, here's how you can take control of your own narrative.
It is a fascinating balance, right? On the one hand, advocating for widespread change, and on the other, urging these women to embrace their power and redefine what being a single mother means to them.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder how much responsibility should be placed on the individual versus, the need for larger societal shifts. It's a tough question.
Absolutely. And it's probably a tension that many people listening can relate to, this idea of personal growth versus pushing for societal change. It makes you question where the true power to reshape these ingrained narratives really lies. It's not a simple answer.
It's like he's saying, we need to completely rethink how we see single mothers, move past these simplistic and often inaccurate labels. And what I appreciate is that he doesn't just point out the problem. He actually offers solutions. And not just for single mothers themselves, but for anyone who might be, afraid to look past the label.
Right. And that's what makes the source so thought-provoking. It's not just, here's the problem. It's also, okay, how do we fix this? How do we change our perspective?
Oh.
And St. Vincent really emphasizes that these women, they're not defined by their relationship status, right? They have their own goals, their own dreams, and yeah, their own struggles, but those struggles don't make them any less deserving of love or happiness.
And this is where I think the theme of resilience really comes in. Throughout the transcript, he talks about how single mothers, they don't just handle the logistics of raising a family alone, but they're also dealing with the emotional weight of everyone's expectations and judgments.
Yeah, it's like he's saying, look, just think about everything they do. I mean, the school runs, working a job, being there for their kids emotionally. It's really about celebrating their dedication, both to their families and to themselves.
But it's interesting, though, because while he's all about, self-improvement and empowerment, he's also saying to society at large, hey, stop expecting these women to constantly prove themselves.
Right.
It's like he's rejecting this idea that single mothers have to be superhuman to be worthy of respect and love.
It's a powerful statement, for sure. This idea that they shouldn't have to constantly overachieve to be seen as, good enough. He wants to see a world where single mothers are celebrated for their strength, not judged for their circumstances.
One thing that stuck with me was this idea of reclaiming the narrative, right? St. Vincent really encourages single mothers to embrace their stories, not to hide from them. It's like he's saying, this is part of who you are, and it speaks volumes about your strength. And it made me reflect on how often we let those societal narratives dictate how we view ourselves and the others. It's like he's pushing back against those predefined boxes, those labels, encouraging us to recognize how diverse human experience really is.
Yeah, it's about challenging those assumptions that there's only one right way to do things, to build a family. And I think ultimately what St. Vincent is advocating for is a world where single mothers are seen as individuals, each with their own story, their own challenges, their own triumphs, all deserving of respect and understanding and love.
That phrase, deserving love, it makes you think, right, does anyone really deserve love? Or is it more about connecting with someone who truly sees you for who you are,
Hmm.
accepts you, complexities and all?
It's a really interesting question. It makes you question this whole idea of conditional love. Maybe instead of asking if someone deserves love, we should be asking ourselves, what makes any relationship thrive, regardless of family structure? What are those fundamental things, shared values, respect, communication, that allow love to flourish?
You're right, it's about shifting our perspective, moving away from judgment, moving towards understanding, from assumptions to genuine connection.
And that's what's been so great about this deep dive. It's challenged us to confront our own biases, to really think about the narratives we accept as truth, and hopefully to gain a deeper appreciation for the strength and resilience of single mothers.
As we wrap up here, the thing that really sticks with me is this. What if we move beyond labels entirely? What if, instead of seeing single mothers, we just saw parents, each with their own unique story, their own unique path?
It's a powerful thought, isn't it? Imagine the possibilities if we approached each other with that level of empathy and understanding. It's something I hope everyone listening will take with them.
This has been a fascinating conversation, really, and I think it's just the start of a much bigger dialogue. So, to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this journey. And until next time, keep asking those tough questions, keep challenging those assumptions, and keep embracing the incredible complexity of being human.